Howdy y'all, Dean Stilley here from the official home of unofficial Grateful Dead and music news, reporting on a doozy of a night at Alpine. And Alpine, another venue that's rich with memories. We go back to my youth. I was 19 years old. The year was 1989, my first trip to Alpine. And that summer, the summer started, I think, in Foxborough. I went to work the morning before Foxborough with no clue I was going to quit my job or anything like that. It was just another day. I remember I was working as an electrician's apprentice. At the end of the day, my boss said to me, clean up and we'll go home. And I said, you know, you can clean up yourself. I'm going on Dead tour. And I split and I realized I'm all in. I just basically quit my job, and I remember I had nothing but just a backpack and about 40 bucks, and we hit the road. And the next day I was in Foxborough, did that whole tour all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. And the night at Alpine, 7/17/89, that was some kind of night. That was that's got the potential to show up very similar to what tomorrow night might be like. I think that was China Rider, Playin Terrapin, something of that nature. And that was the first half of the second set. Just a fantastic show. Now, the doozy of that night was you get the first We Bid You Goodnight since New Year's Eve '78. They come out, you get We Bid You Goodnight, the whole place full of chills. I mean, your body goes electric, every hair on my body standing up, and that shit even made God cry, because when they were done on the way out of the venue that night, we were all in tears, and the good Lord was too, because it rained like hell for the next 2 nights. That was the last time any of us were dry. I got back to my tent. I'm partying my ass off in the rain, in the lot. Didn't give a damn, and didn't even have very, very kind and patient hippie. I was so high, I didn't even know where the hell my campground was. Very patient and wonderful hippie. Drove me around till we found my tent. It's a campground. I'm not even sure. I can't remember where it was. There was ducks and fish in my tent and 3 guys in the canoe. That was the last time we were dry the whole run. That was my summer of love, the summer of '89. I stayed at Alpine after the Dead was done. I saw the Who there. Then I went to Colorado on the break between Alpine and Cal Expo, and I saw the Allman Brothers at Red Rocks. That was my first trip to Red Rocks. And then between Cal Expo and the Greeks, I saw the Allman Brothers at Shoreline. That was my first trip to Shoreline. So the summer of '89 was a fine summer for me, and boy, you can listen to all that stuff and just love it. And you'll love it every bit as much as I love what was happening tonight. Tonight, you didn't have to be there to know that this shit was good. Some of y'all with that, you weren't there. Let me tell you what, when it's good, it doesn't matter. And tonight, it was good. It got good. It started good. And then I wondered, and then it got really good again. So let's run it down. They open up with Hell in a Bucket, and Hell in a Bucket is not a ballad. We're slaying it. He's killing it. He's screaming false. We're having a damn good time with Hell in a Bucket. Brown Eyed Women next, and notes are flying all over the place. This is Brown Eyed the way you want Brown Eyed. It's full of life. I mean, the tempo is where you want it to be. I mean, you can dance hard when they're playing Brown Eyed that way. Greatest Story's next, and Greatest Story isn't going to limp along either. Greatest Story, that limp got cured. Greatest Story's moving along with power, and it's the Greatest Story. It was an okay story the last time we got it. It is a great story tonight, and that I thought was amazing. Then we get Deep Ellum, right? Deep Ellum was fun, and everyone gets a turn at that, and those jams were great. And so we're here, and this is shaping up to be top shelf, and And then Bob sings Even So. And Even So, not a bad tune, but really, this is like, you're getting a blowjob, and one of the kids has a nightmare and runs in the room. Ends everything. Stops everything. That's kind of what Even So was like. And there's a howling solo at the end of that. A howling solo. Anyway, Ramble on Rose comes next, and Ramble on Rose can sometimes be a song that just goes through its, measures, but Clementi made sure that that was one you'd remember. He was just beating that one up something severe. Ramble on Rose was great. You get Cassidy. Cassidy is Weir's best first set closing type tune, no doubt. No doubt. Tonight was no exception. It was just like that. Then you get Touch of Grey. I don't know. This band can't play Touch of Grey. I was with the end. It went on, and it got weaker and weaker. I was with my grandma when she passed away. It wasn't a terrible experience. There was some beauty in the experience, and I held her hand as she passed away. And it was very similar of a feeling watching them try to finish Touch of Grey. They kept bringing it back, and I'm not sure why, because it was dead already. And I guess they thought if we try to walk this one around the block enough, maybe it'll sober up, and it never did. That motherfucker was like holding Grandma's hand while I watched her die. I love you, Grandma. God rest your soul. Anyway, who cares? Great time had by all. Alpine Valley. Let's get right to the second set. Because, listen, I don't like to mention it. I don't want to keep bringing it up. But not only... first of all, I think Weir needs a fucking hat. That, I think, could be part of the problem. Bill has got the right hat on tonight. He got the one from Hawaii. It's not that new hat. He's got the Owsley hat. The one from Hawaii, that hat is the motherfucker. So anyway, he got the right hat on. Probably could have turned it backwards for the second set because they opened it up with Viola Lee. Viola Lee, once again, get cut short. They busted this Viola Lee up, and I think sometimes when it gets bust up like that, you maybe take a little bit from each piece, but, I would prove that I was wrong as the night moved on. Estimated is just ferocious, and the jams in that are everything that you want and expect from that song. I mean, we're having a good time. That thing turned to Uncle John's like butter. I mean, that shit was smooth. You were grooving to Estimated 1 second. The next second it was Uncle John's. You almost didn't even know when the fuck that happened. So that's what we want to see when Estimated turns to Uncle John's. That was out of sight. You get O'Teal on the China Doll next. A thing of beauty. Mayer solos throughout. Mayer, he was a ham tonight. I mean, that motherfucker was showing off. He gave it everything tonight. I mean, he was a rock star. He was rock star Mayer tonight. There's no doubt about that. O'Teal, beautiful on China Doll. Just an amazing China Doll. That one will make you feel deep, deep, deep. Back to Viola Lee. Now we get some more Viola Lee, so they beat the fuck out of that tune a little bit more. And then we get drums, and drums just set a crazy mood, and it's great to see Mickey do what Mickey do. When Mickey's done on the beam, that beam plays itself for a little while after he leaves it. I mean, it's like something from the Haunted Mansion in Disney World. That shit is amazing. Space, incredible space. Mayer jamming with everybody tonight. Mayer spending time in space with O'Teal, and the two of them were just... they were having a blast, trading shit back and forth. I mean, it was an explosive night for all the personalities in Dead & Company, and they played hard with and against each other. It was tight. The Wheel comes out next, and no more Paul Simon. I was glad about that. We got Frankie fucking Valli again. That's okay. I'm Italian. I like that. So, we get a little bit of Frankie Valli at the end of the Wheel. Bob on Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. Bob at his best. You know, that's Bob's tune. It's him at his best. You get the Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. We get more Viola Lee coming out of that. And the last segment of Viola Lee, that was John was trading it with Jeff, and Jeff was trading it with John, and they were licking off each other. And then, I mean, at one point, John just started showing off. He went into full, like when he's on solo tour mode. Not that I know what that's like, because I passed last time around, but I mean, that's what I imagine it's like, based on, you know, pictures you might see. But anyway, he was in full rock star mode, showing off like a motherfucker. The whole band showing off tonight. I mean, O'Teal playing like he got 8 fingers on each hand. This shit was good. Jeff stirring it up something ferocious. This is a band feeling very good. Going Down the Road Feeling Bad is going to close it up, and the jams in that were consistent with everything else that happened throughout that second set. That second set, say what you will, that hat from Hawaii is the motherfucker. This one could have been a backwards hat night. The second set, it could have been backwards. They come out for the encores with the acoustics. You didn't get it at Blossom. They gave you Knocking on Heaven's Door. You see them with the acoustics. You know they're saving the Ripple for Alpine. You get the Ripple. Beautiful. Listen, didn't have to be there to feel the energy tonight, to understand that they were killing it. You know, at every step. Bob needs a fucking hat, maybe. But, I mean, even with that being said, tonight you could feel it. You could feel it. Didn't have to be right there in it. I'm sure if you were, it was damn near explosive. I'm sure right now the parking lot at Alpine is just full of happy people. There's no doubt about that. There is no shortage of hugs tonight. Tonight, everybody gets laid. It's that kind of night in Grateful Dead land. I love you forever. We'll see you tomorrow.